I'm live. I'm live. Woo, woo. Okay, everything looks good. Can y'all hear me? I have no idea what that was. Alrighty. So you can hear me. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this. Wahoo, yes, I'm finally, this is my second attempt to go live. So I appreciate you all for being here and watching my video. I apologize to my dragon family. I am in the process of moving, and as you all know, that it can be a very stressful and very time-consuming event in anyone's life. Okay, it's like right up there, stress level-wise, with like getting a divorce or anything like that. So please bear with me. I am actually starting a new weekly series where I will be roasting a zodiac sign, one zodiac sign, okay, a week. And this week it's all about the Scorpio files, okay? So Scorpio is under the gun. Scorpio is going to be under the microscope. And I'm going to cover all of Scorpio's drama and all of their raw traits, their intensity, their superpowers, some of the dark sided traits of Scorpio, and that includes Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, and Scorpio Rising. And at the very end, if you stick around, I will be briefly covering the deacons of Scorpio. Okay, so if any of you have any questions in regards to Scorpio, please put them in the comment box. I will be checking it throughout this live stream, and I will get to your question as swiftly as possible, okay? And again, this video is only going to be covering Scorpio, okay? Scorpio Sun, Moon, and Rising. We are not going to be talking about houses in this video. I will be doing separate videos in the future that will cover the houses and all of that sort of thing, okay? But what inspired me to start doing this series, a weekly live stream series on the zodiac signs, is because growing up, I had some really intense, crazy traits that seemed out of place with everyone else around me. I couldn't understand myself. No one else could understand me. I had such intense emotions and passion. And as a kid, I was ridiculed for having these certain traits that no one could identify with. Well, it seemed like that in my little, world. So it was really, really difficult to go throughout my childhood and even high school and that sort of thing, and even into my early 20s with these intense possessive traits and stuff. And so I knew that I had the Cancer sun sign, but I didn't know anything about the natal birth chart and your full blueprint. I started actually getting into astrology, when was it? Probably in my late 20s. So for almost a couple decades, I have been researching astrology and the zodiac signs. So when I discovered that I had Scorpio Moon and I had two other placements in Scorpio in my natal birth chart, it all started to make sense, okay? So anyways, there's so many people out there that have these strong, dominant Scorpio traits, and they just feel like they're an alien stuck in this terrarium, okay? And we just feel like a misfit, out of place. And I think every person in zodiac sign should know their basic traits, okay, and their natal birth chart, of course, which you can go into my playlist and you can easily find a couple videos that I did on the natal birth chart explaining it for beginners. So I encourage you all to go into my playlist and look for the natal birth chart broken down for beginners. Anyways, so let's get back to Scorpio. Okay, so this is all about Scorpio. And I want to let you know the Scorpio is a fixed sign. It's a fixed water sign, okay? It's a very intense sign, okay? And you're going to see a lot of this intensity and passion when I speak because unfortunately my moon sign is in Scorpio and I was born at nighttime, which makes it even more intense, okay? It almost trumps my sun sign. And matter of fact, when I look at the traits of the Cancer sun sign, I don't relate to a lot of them. I relate to a couple of them, but I don't really relate to them. Now, when I look at the Scorpio's traits, I'm like, oh my gosh, this just describes me to a T. So let's get on with the Scorpio files, okay? So we all know that Scorpios are very intense, okay? And my goodness, we have this, or Scorpio's suns, they have this intense, like I would call it a death stare. And it's like when they're talking to you, they're literally reading your soul. Like they're penetrating down into the depths of your very soul, okay? They see beyond the superficial. Some of the raw traits of Scorpio are that they can be very obsessive, they're very seductive, and very, very loyal, okay? And this is, I would say, more like the loyalty, being very, very loyal, is more for the evolved Scorpios. But in general, these are the raw traits of a Scorpio sun sign or Scorpio in general. Scorpios have a bad rap for being jealous, or that's what most people call the typical Scorpio. Maybe when they're unevolved, yes. It's more of a possessiveness. So you have to understand that with Scorpio's suns and moons, they want to have spiritual unification with you. They want to merge their souls with you, okay? Most signs, and I'm going to give you a representation right now. Most signs are very happy. And I'm going to show you here in a second with the demonstration. So you can get an idea of what it actually means. I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to try. For the Scorpio's possessiveness, when they love something, when they love you, okay, they are spiritually bonded to you, okay? It's so intense. It is so real. It goes deeper than any other sign that I know of. Okay, so this will light. Please light, please light. Yay, victorious. So basically, what I'm trying to demonstrate is that imagine this is you. This is your soul burning. And this is anybody else, okay, any other zodiac sign. They're happy just being in the same space with you, warming the same space with you, okay? That's with other zodiac signs. You and another zodiac sign, not Scorpio, just other zodiac signs. Now, this over here now is Scorpio. Scorpio sun, moon. They want to merge, okay? They want to merge their wick, their wax, and their flame and become one soul with you, okay? I hope that illustrates you. They want total spiritual unification with you, okay? Hi, I'm glad you made it. I am true. Okay, yes. So I got a little wax on me. Uh-oh, that comes off. Anyways, I hope that was a good illustration to show you how Scorpio isn't about jealousy. We're not jealous of other people. We're not envious of other people. We don't care what other people have. We don't even care what other people look like, okay? If we are in a committed relationship with you, even if we're in the beginning stages of a relationship with you, we are going to be very possessive. Okay, yes, there's that obsession, and the Scorpios will stalk you, and then they will turn around on you and act like, you know, you're the weird one. So you have to watch out for that, okay? Yes, Scorpios that actually love you or have a deep interest in you, they will stalk you on social media. If they work with you or you work with them, or you're actually in their personal space at work or anywhere, whether it's a gym, it doesn't matter, in public place, if they know anything about you, places you visit or whatever, yeah, they will stalk you, and you know, they will investigate you. Scorpios are natural investigators and very private people, okay? So they're not big on public displays of affection. Yes, we don't mind like holding hands or arm in arm, even putting, you know, our arm or their arm around us or around, you know, but you're not going to ever see a Scorpio making out with their significant other, okay, whether it's a girlfriend, you know, spouse, whatever, because Scorpios cherish and value their sacred bond with their loved one, and all of that needs to be done in private, okay? So there will be no big displays of public affection. Normally speaking, now, you know, you have to look at the whole natal birth chart. You really do have to look at, if you're a Scorpio sun, you have to look at your moon sign, okay? And even your Venus sign. And sometimes even your Mars sign. Sometimes your Mars signs can be. Anyways, you need to look at the whole picture. But Scorpio is such an intense, very powerful sign, sun, moon, or the rising sign, okay? So, yes, Scorpios do get a bad rap when it comes to, you know, being sexual beings. And yes, we love lots of sex, okay? So you have to understand that Scorpios, their love language is all about physical touch, okay? That is how we not only show our love physically through sex, lots of affection, lots of passion, but we also gauge how others feel about us through physical contact, through intimacy, through sex even. I know this personally, okay, because I've been guilty at those sorts of things. And I'm just being raw about it, okay? That is a huge love language for Scorpios, sun, moon, and even rising. We gauge how someone feels about us through physical intimacy, where other zodiac signs might gauge it through acts of, you know, actions and gifts and quality time and that sort of thing. So Scorpio is all about emotional control, and then they're not about really controlling you so much. They're really trying to control their entire environment. And yes, I guess if they're unevolved, they definitely want to take the lead, okay? Especially if they're a man. And that's really hard if it's two Scorpios together, a male and a female. The woman will be in charge, but she needs to take a back seat and make the Scorpio man believe that he is in charge, okay? Two Scorpios in charge, that's just a bloody mess. It's a bloody warfare, emotional warfare mess, okay? So one of them has got to concede, even just a little bit. Okay, so, oh, hi, One Warrior. I'm so glad you made it. Yay. So glad you're here. So, and I don't see any questions from any of y'all, so I guess maybe I'm covering everything. All right, so I'm so happy to see you all. And so another thing I want to talk about real briefly is the fact that most of you don't know I have ADHD. So in a lot of my videos, I have to have notes or an outline or bullet points sometimes, because a lot of times my mind wants to wander and go off in another direction, even talk about something that's so unrelated. So a lot of times if you see me looking here or there, I'm not always looking at my notes, mind you. So my eyes just like to wander, even when I'm talking. When things are flowing, I can look up at the ceiling, I could be looking at the floor. And anyways, the thing is that it's a challenge to stay on point and to stay organized. And I want my videos to flow. So that is why you might see me looking here or there or whatever. It's not that I'm always looking at my bullet points. I want to make sure I stay in order and stay with the flow. And although I know this material really well, I do get a little bit, I'm being honest, I get a little bit nervous still. This is still kind of new to me. I haven't been on YouTube for even a year. I've been doing this for 8 months now, 8 months. So, and I appreciate you all for being here. I am just so appreciative of you all. And so now I'm looking at my notes right now because I got off track talking about, okay, so now as far as like Scorpio's superpowers and general raw traits, another trait that Scorpio has is the power and ability to regenerate. Because you need to understand that Scorpio is ruled by 2 planets. We got Pluto over here, that's the planet of death and rebirth and regeneration and transformation, okay? And that's why I wear this necklace to represent the rising phoenix, because there's 7 transformational stages that a Scorpio goes through. And this includes Scorpio moon and even rising. So I talk about that in one of my videos. It's Scorpio being the most powerful zodiac sign. Anyways, so what was I talking about? So this is what I'm talking about. What was I? Yes, regeneration. Okay, so Scorpio is ruled by the planets Pluto and Mars. Mars is under the surface, it's boiling under there like a volcano, it's simmering, okay? But it's there, and it does impact the behavior and traits of the person, okay? Mars is the planet of war and aggression, okay? Maybe most of you aren't aware of that, but so you have to understand that Scorpio has got a double dose of the power of 2 planets. I don't know any other zodiac sign that has that, okay? So Scorpios are very powerful. They're very powerful manifestors because, like I was saying in the beginning, Scorpios have such intense emotions. I mean, intense, especially if you're Scorpio moon, then it's magnified. So, and if you have a stellium of Scorpio, you have more than one placement in your natal birth chart, then you will know, you feel that intensity. And you can literally harness all of those emotions and use them for your benefit to create your world. Now, the unevolved Scorpio uses a lot of that intense energy and emotions to self-destruct or even destroy their relationships with people. It can be very self-destructful. I am going to stop here for a moment and my glasses. So we need to see why is that people react to me in a strong manner almost all the time. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes negative, even when I'm not being that way. Sometimes I'm sexualized even when I don't. Even when you don't wear revealing clothing. Yeah, so yeah, Scorpios, wait a minute. So are you just a Scorpio rising? If you're just, it doesn't matter. Scorpio rising signs, oh my gosh, they are so magnetic. When they walk into a room, they literally materialize, from a shadow figure, okay? The aura of a Scorpio rising sign is just off the scale magnetic. And you have to understand that because of the intense magnetism of Scorpio or Scorpio rising, it is so powerful, so strong, people can feel it. And they will either love you or hate you or be very intimidated by you, okay? The energy that we exude out from us is magnetizing, okay? And so I know that, like, when I carry myself in an elevated manner, because I have a very stout, stellar self-confidence, along with that Scorpio energy going on and everything. I know people just, I feel like I am a magnet, a human magnet. Wherever I go, male, female, doesn't matter what age they are, they just want to be like on top of me. And I'm just like, oh, you know, it is just, yeah. And I understand what you're saying. And I dress fairly modest, okay? I'm not a huge exhibitionist when I'm in public. I can be behind closed doors and only with that special someone. A big I can't even say the word, exhibitionist. So, and I don't normally wear anything that's risque, but yet people just, you know, so I understand what you're saying about how people treat you in such a manner when you're a Scorpio. Scorpios are just that very unique sign that is just magnetizing. It's, you literally are a walking magnet, okay? In rising signs, Scorpio rising signs, you just walk into a room and everyone's just eyes are on you. They can feel your energy immediately. You have such a strong impact, okay? So I hope that maybe helps clear some of that. Let me look, because I know you're sending me some more I got some more messages. Thank you, One Warrior. I'm doing great. Okay, so how does Pluto affect Scorpio rising? Yes, Scorpio rising with Pluto in the first house. Oh yeah, so you're going to be all about regeneration and transformation. That is going to be, especially for Scorpio risings, it's going to be so much easier for you to regenerate and transform. And in that particular placement, Pluto is all about death, rebirth, regeneration, and transformation. And yeah, so you're, with that particular placement, Scorpio rising with Pluto, the first house, yeah, you should have the strong, you should have the natural strong instincts to want to transform yourself. Okay, so there's 7 transformations, and I go over that in one of the videos that I created back in December about the Scorpio's superpower traits being the most powerful sign in the zodiac, and I also go through all 7 of those transformations. But I'm not going to go through those 7 transformations in this video, but you will be more prone and to regenerate and transform yourself. It's harder for a Scorpio moon sign to go through those transformations because of being in debilitation, but not so much for the Scorpio rising. And that's what makes you so powerful when you have the Scorpio placement in Scorpio rising. So I hope that I'm adequately answering your questions. So Scorpio rising is a very powerful place. Okay, so just know that it's a very powerful placement, and Pluto is very powerful. You are harnessing. See, what people don't understand is that Scorpios, whether you're sun, moon, or rising sign, you have the ability to access the energies from the unseen realms, and that includes the dark realms. Okay, that's what Pluto's all about. Okay, death. Imagine death in every single aspect of life. Okay, death, and then rebirth, and then when you transform into that final stage, that 7th stage, the rising phoenix, you have overcome. Okay, you have overcome everything. You die. You know, you want to bury your old man, and I try to do this on a daily basis. Is shed my old man from yesterday and rise again every day as a phoenix, okay? It's not just like a one-time thing. I'm a phoenix. No, you need to do it every single day. You have to be devoted to shedding your old man, transforming and transcending your former self. Shed that old man, shed the old ways, the old habits, the old whatever that has been keeping you bogged down and mired in your stagnant, unfulfilling life, okay? You are meant to shine. You're meant to overcome all obstacles in your life, including yourself, because let's just get real and honest. Scorpios, because you have that Mars burning down below the surface there, this just wants to destroy and conquer and destroy and dominate. You're prone to self-destructive tendencies and behaviors. You could be self-medicating yourself with alcohol, drugs. You could be looking at porn all the time. You could be doing all kinds of self-destructive behaviors. You name it, okay? You name it. There's so many self-destructive behaviors that destroy not only your spirit life, it destroys your relationship with your loved one. And if you have any addictions like that, you should just stay single for the rest of your life, because you will hurt the other person. You know, if you have addictions like that, you need to get yourself right and not be self-destructful with self-destructful addictions. And that is part of what's so wonderful about being a Scorpio, is that you literally have the power to overcome all of that, and rise above all of it. Okay. And this is what my daughter told me. Okay. My daughter is a Scorpio sun. She has 5 placements of Scorpio in her natal birth chart. So she is very Scorpio. Okay. And we get along great. We understand each other. But this is what she told me a few months back, probably around just before Christmas time. She said, Mom, Scorpios can be really, 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 really bad. And Scorpios can be really, 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 really angelic. And she totally nailed it when she said that. She totally nailed it, because Scorpios are black or white. Very, 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 very good, or very, 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 very dark and bad, okay? And very destructible, self-destructible, okay? Usually Scorpios are self-destructible. They do all kinds of things in their lives that are literally killing their spiritual life, okay? I see it all the time. And I don't have addictions. I've never had addictions to anything. And I don't understand addictive personalities. I'm not sure why I don't have addictions to anything. I just don't. I don't. So I do try to have compassion for people who get into bad behaviors. I think that people just get into a habit of a bad behavior. They can break it if they decide they want to. If they really, really, really want to break a habit, they can. So Scorpios, a lot of them that I've seen around me, whether they're family or friends, or they're passing through my life, they are literally engaging in very destructive behaviors that not only hurt themselves spiritually, but the person that they're with. Or if they're single, they're definitely hurting themselves, okay? Our goal in life is to transform and become that rising phoenix, okay? That is what we should be striving for in our life, is to become a more pure-hearted person and level up our spiritual life, our soul life, okay? So, you know, Scorpios, when they're evolved, they are very angelic. As a matter of fact, I just had somebody tell me that when they first met me, they thought I was an angel. And I never knew that. Back then, I knew that they thought I was too good to be true, but they had never told me that until recently. And it's really just kind of goes in line with the Scorpio being really evolved, very angelic traits. We're very kind. We love to help others. We're very caring and kind, okay? But other times, like if you're unevolved, sometimes we just want to, if we're going through something very emotional, personally or not, we can retract and isolate ourselves from the whole world. And this is another trait. My family doesn't understand this about me. My friends, family, people around me, they're like, oh my God, where is she? She's disappeared again. Because I retract. I will literally pull away from somebody when they've hurt me, angered me, disrespected me, lied to me, deceived me, or if I'm going through a physical ailment in my life, or I've done something to myself. And the last time I pulled away from my family was when I had a major injury and I was going through a lot of pain. And I literally shut out the whole world, Most other signs will still be talking to their friends and family and said, oh my gosh, woe is me, and this happened to me. But me, I'm the opposite of that. I will shut the whole world out and regenerate, okay, in the dark, in a dark, dark place. See, we Scorpios go down into the pits of hell and the darkness, and we're not afraid of it. We're not afraid of it. We're not afraid of doing it alone either. And you know what? We will regenerate. We will gather our energies. We will heal our bodies and our spirits and our mind and our soul. And then, bam, then we come out of the darkness and we rise, reborn, so much stronger than we ever were before, okay? So we can regenerate multiple times throughout our lives. I know I've done this. I've gone into the pits of hell, stayed there for a while by myself in the darkness, regenerated, transformed, and it doesn't matter if it's someone else that's hurt me or I've hurt myself. I always come back a stronger, more evolved, spiritually evolved Scorpio or person, okay? Because it's all about our spiritual lives. You want to get technical. Okay, Scorpios just have that natural trait. It's a natural trait for us to transform. Okay, we're going through that death and rebirth multiple times throughout our lives. And if you're not, then you are in a stagnant pattern. And I'm going to pause right here because I think I'm missing out on some questions here. Okay, so yes, Scorpio rising. Okay, so how do I use the walking magnet energy to manifest my desires? Any visualization techniques? Right, so yeah, you're a walking magnet, all right. So when you desire something, okay, so you're going to naturally have, being Scorpio rising, I take it, you're going to want to harness all of your emotions, okay? I know you possess intense emotions, okay? Look at me. Look at how intense I am right now. Look how passionate I am. So imagine yourself, you're probably like that. You take that energy and you harness it into either visualizing what you want, embody the feeling of already the wish fulfilled. I don't know what it is I do not want you to tell me what you're trying to manifest, but say for instance, you're trying to manifest a car, okay? Because that's one of the fun things that I like to manifest and create is a brand new car, because that's what I'm doing now. So I will visualize myself. I will sit in a very quiet space, no distractions, no noise. I don't really meditate, okay? Mind you, I can create whatever I want. I always have, very easily. And even more so now, instantly. But you want to get in a quiet place. You want to visualize, use your imagination. You want to feel it real. Feel yourself sitting in that dream vehicle of yours. It's like smell that new car smell. Feel yourself touching the steering wheel. Know how it feels when you are driving that vehicle and how excited you are that you've got your dream vehicle, okay? And it could be anything. It could be a Lamborghini, Ferrari, whatever, okay? So that's, if you're a visual person, I'm looking at the I'm looking at the screen. If you're a visual person and that is the way that you can create and manifest your world, then use that technique, okay? It's all about embodying the feeling and knowing that it's already yours. So when you're trying to manifest and create something, know that it is already done. You wouldn't have that desire if it wasn't already yours. So if you desire a person, place, or thing, that's because it's already yours. It's already a done deal. Okay, it's already a done deal. That desire would not be put in your heart or your mind or your spirit or your soul if it wasn't already there for you to have. You can reject it and you can screw it up. Yes, you can. If your mind, your subconscious thoughts aren't in line with your conscious thoughts, and you don't have that heart emotions to back it, the desire from your heart, you can screw it up. You can obtain that car or that person, and then you can lose that person that you're trying to manifest. If your thoughts don't stay in alignment with what you truly want, and that's why you see so many couples struggling, because their thoughts are up and down and all over the place. And so, yeah, it's easy to manifest your dream partner or whatever, but it's just as easily to manifest it out of your life as it is to manifest it in your life, okay? It's all about your thoughts, your words, your actions. So Scorpios are natural sorcerers, okay? And you may not like to hear that word, but Scorpios have the natural ability to create their world because of the intense emotions. And if you were a pure-hearted Scorpio, you're evolved, you can literally manifest so swiftly, so quickly, because pure-hearted people resonate and vibrate at a much higher frequency. Anything negative that comes at a pure-hearted Scorpio will just literally bounce off their aura, okay? It will not be able to penetrate. So being a pure-hearted Scorpio makes you a creator god. It makes you extremely powerful above all, okay? So I feel that it's imperative that Scorpios, especially because of all the intense emotions that we possess, we get emotionally attached and to people and places and things, especially people, okay? And that's why it appears to the outside world that we are obsessed with somebody. It's all about the fact that it is really hard to detach ourselves from somebody when we have a spiritual attachment to somebody. Our soul is already attached to them. Even if we haven't even met them, we can have a spiritual attachment to somebody that we haven't even physically met, okay? And it's just that much stronger when you do finally meet that person. Then it just makes it stronger, okay? So Scorpios are just amazing, especially if they do evolve. They can just become so powerfully angelic and amazing. And I have seen some very passionate, amazing Scorpios in my lifetime that were just amazing people that just were all about helping and caring and taking care of people. And so let's talk about Scorpio moon now. And this can also reflect into Scorpio moon, even if you're in Vedic astrology, because the traits are similar, but it could cover more of like your soul contract and destiny and stuff like that. But the traits are still there under the surface. They're definitely there. And so did I even cover Scorpio sun accurately? Because it's how you present yourself in life with the Scorpio sun. And the basic traits of the Scorpio sun are, like I said, obsessiveness, intensity, like that death stare. They'll stare right into your soul. And sometimes it might look like they want to kill you. And sometimes maybe they do. Maybe you're already on their blacklist, because if you lie to them and betray them, cheat on them, you are literally on their blacklist, okay? Death wish list. So I kid you not. So don't ever lie, cheat, or betray a Scorpio. A Scorpio has so much power because of the Pluto and Mars influence. They don't even need to lift a finger. And I can say this honestly, with having a Scorpio moon sign, I know that any time that anybody has done anything bad to me, lied, cheated, betrayed me, sent any negative energy towards me, or done something behind my back or whatever, really bad things happen to them. And I don't have to lift a finger. I don't have to speak anything into existence. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to wave my magic wand or anything. I just, for some reason, well, it's really not some reason. It's just that Scorpios rule the karmic world. Okay, so basically, whatever you do to a Scorpio, good or bad, will be multiplied by 10 and sent right back to you. I've watched this reoccurring theme in my life for over 40 decades. So when people are good and kind and loyal and faithful and good to me, really, really, really great things happen to them in their lives. Like they benefit incredible. I mean, they wonderful things happen to them. And then if they cheat, lie, steal, or even threaten to kill me or hurt me or any sort of way, like really, really bad things happen to them. And I haven't had to really use any physical revenge, because Scorpios are definitely known for being very vengeful and very revengeful. And let's talk about some of the dark-sided traits of both sun and moon signs. Let me wait before I move on. Before I go any further, I'm going to check out my comments because I don't want to overlook anybody. Let's see. Why do they tend to be self-destructive? Is it loneliness because others have no idea the depth of our souls? Yeah, never even lifting a finger. Exactly. It is wild, isn't it? So, okay, one more. Why do Scorpios tend to be self-destructive? Is it loneliness because others have no idea the depth of our souls? Scorpios can be self-destructive for many, 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 many reasons. It could be childhood traumas, but the natural tendency to self-destruct usually is because of some kind of trauma that they're compressing. And because Scorpios are extreme, they're black or white. And like I was saying earlier, Scorpios, when they are black and they're bad all the way bad, okay? That means they self-destruct all the way. There is no gray areas for a Scorpio. So you have to understand that there are so many reasons. It's usually from childhood trauma or genetic memory being passed down to them from their father or their father or mother, 4 generations back. Okay, some of the memories in the blood are passed down, but because of the Pluto influence, it's I have fought this myself. Even though I have a pure heart and I do good to people and help people and that sort of thing, and I'm authentic and real. I have had to, at periods of my life, especially when I was younger, much younger, like way, like in a different lifetime, it seems like, wanted to take my own life even. And I hate saying that, but yes, I even tried to take my own life when I was a teenager. Okay, so it was like a long time ago, folks. I felt back then that I was unloved, that my father didn't love me, that he abandoned me, and I kind of had daddy issues, I would say. So with Scorpios, we're not afraid of death. We're not afraid of, we can even become obsessed with death. So anyways, there's so many reasons why it is so easy for Scorpios to self-destruct. I know anyone has the ability to self-destruct, no matter what sign you are. Scorpios, we have the natural abilities and traits to become obsessed with death. Even if we're taking our own life or trying to take our own life, that sort of thing. The scariest parts about Scorpio is that if they do get angry, and I know personally that it takes me a lot to get angry. And we feel like we're pushed in a corner and we've just had enough. That yes, we can have emotional outbursts. And the thing is that if we do get violent, we don't know when to stop. And that's a really scary thing about Scorpios, is that if they do get angry, instead of letting karma take its course and Scorpios get violent and they take actions into their own hands, they don't know when to stop. Okay, they want to get, and I'm guilty of this myself. No, I haven't killed anybody, but when it came to getting revenge on somebody, I would do it again and again and again, and I would do it until I felt that repayment had been made. Okay, so, and that was me, like, in my unevolved states, in my unevolved era. Okay, that I don't do that anymore. And I'm not proud of that behavior. It's not something I like wear as a badge or anything. Okay, it's just that's the way Scorpios are. If I got angry, and I said I have only been really, really angry just a couple times in my life, handful of times actually, where I have blacked out and I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, I just know that I'm in kill mode, I'm in death mode. And that's, my grandpa was a Scorpio too, and he did the same thing. Like when he would get angry, he would just like totally black out. He got angry. He didn't know what in the world he was doing. He doesn't remember anything that he does when he's angry. And I am just like that. So it's like, Michael Myers. So anyways, and that's not something that, I should be laughing about, but it's just kind of a Scorpio trait. And you can evolve out of that, you guys. So let's see here. And so, okay, the other part of your question, one where is it loneliness because others have no idea the depth of our souls? Yeah. Yes, that's such an important part of your question, one where, and I'm so glad you asked that, because people do not have any understanding of what it's like to be so deep spiritually, and like I was demonstrating with the candles, the two becoming one. The Scorpio wants to consume this other candle's wick and wax and become one flame. Okay, we want to consume the other person's soul. We go deep, 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 deep. Okay, and so many people do not understand that about a Scorpio. And so it can lead to, like you said, when we're feeling such loneliness throughout our lives. And I have felt that my entire life. I have never been with somebody that understood that. Even if they nod their head, saying, okay, yeah, I can, maybe understand some of it, whatever. Honestly, I have never been with anybody in an intimate way, whether it's a friend, family, or whatever, that completely understands me. They look at me sideways like, what are you, an alien? Well, yeah, probably. And I'm waiting for my spaceship to come and abduct me any day now, because I don't belong here. And so I know a lot of Scorpios that feel that way, that we just don't belong here. Like, what the heck are we doing here? This is just, it's, to me, this terrarium that we live in is so foreign to me. All the different species that are here, everything about this place is foreign to me. And I've had a hard time. It is very challenging when you are so emotionally and soulfully deep as a person. And when you love somebody, you want that unification of soul, spirit, body, mind, everything, like everything. You want to merge as one. Okay, you want to be one. And yes, we are private about our relationships and that sort of thing, because we feel, this is for Scorpio sun, moon, and rising signs, we feel that our bond with somebody is so sacred. okay? And it should be protected and cherished. And so when I was saying earlier that Scorpios have a bad rap for being jealous, okay? We're not jealous of other people. Like, I can care less what another woman looks like because I know my self-worth. I can care less what another man looks like. I can care less what anybody looks like or what they own. I don't care if someone has $1 trillion. I don't care, because Scorpios, we don't like fake energy. We don't like fake people. We like authenticity. We like you to be real. We want you to bare your guts to us, even if it's childhood traumas. We like that too. We want to know everything about you, everything. We want to get deep. We want to get deep into your soul, okay? Deep into your spirit. We want to know everything. So we are not a jealous, typically, we are not jealous in that way. We are possessive. We are protective. We are protective of what we believe is ours, okay? Because, like I said, we are soulfully, our energy, our soul energy is attached to that person or whatever it is, okay? It could even be a house or an object, which is whatever, okay? But for relationship, for just relationships, we want to bond on that soulful level, okay? We don't do superficial anything, nothing. I know personally, I will not have a superficial relationship with somebody. You know, if I'm not getting what I need, I just pull back, okay? And just keep it at a friendship level, because if I'm not getting the attention I need, the consistency, the phone calls, the meeting and all that, I will just stay in that, you know, it's all or nothing with the Scorpio. And, you know, so with this, most people do not understand that we need to bond with that person that we love on the deepest levels. And because most people don't understand that and they're not capable of bonding on a deep level, we tend to feel very alone throughout our entire lives. And it's really sad, because I know I'm not the only person that feels alone. And yeah, you can be married to somebody and feel super alone because you have outgrown them spiritually. They're stagnant in their spiritual life. They're not going anywhere. They're not evolving as a person. They're the same person that you met 20, 30 years ago, 10, you know, however long it is that you met them. They're still the same darn person with the same behaviors, the same attitude, the same whatever, okay? And here you are evolving and evolving spiritually, and you're leveling up your manifesting game. You're leveling up your spiritual game. And they're staying down here in the mire. And they're bringing you down. They're literally, because of their negative energy, because of where they're at, they're literally keeping you down. I mean, you can break free. Okay, so you do have the choice to break free and move on. Okay, I've done it twice. I've been married and divorced twice. And when I realized that I was spiritually outgrown that significant other, I moved on because they were not benefiting my spiritual life anymore. I've evolved so much that, you know, I just see everyone falling away from my life. And as Scorpios, you know, because we desire that soul bond so much, we literally get into relationships that we might think, you know, are good or whatever, but in the long run, they're not. You know, you can outgrow your spouse or significant other. It happens all the time where one person in a relationship outgrows the other. And it is perfectly okay to walk away from that relationship. I've done it twice. Okay. I actually celebrated my first marriage when I got divorced. I actually celebrated. Yes, it was a one-woman party. Okay. But I celebrated. I was like, woohoo, you know, I was like, yes, no more burden, no more feeling like I'm being pulled down to their level, you know. I just felt like I could spread my wings again. And then, yeah. So you guys, don't be afraid to break ties with something that no longer benefits your life. If it no longer benefits your life or adds value to your life, you need to cut it loose. You need to let it go, whether it's a food, a drug, addictions, bad ones, okay, that can hurt and harm someone else, especially yourself, a person, place, whatever, a thing, it doesn't matter. You need to cut ties with things that are no longer serving your spiritual life, that are actually harming you and harming your mind, okay? What you look at, what you do does affect your spiritual life. People don't understand that. So, you know, that's why shedding that old man, you know, the Scorpio is so good at killing and destroying and shedding and regenerating, getting rid of things that no longer serve them, okay? And yes, divorce is a government thing, okay? So you shouldn't feel bad about it. It's just a piece of paper. The government wants their piece of the pie. That's all it is. It's a piece of paper, you guys. So get over that divorce thing, okay? You can literally marry someone without a piece of paper. You can literally bond with somebody on a soul level and be committed to somebody on a soul level without a piece of paper, without the government getting their hands into your piece of the pie, okay? So I'm just saying. Anyways, let me make sure I'm not missing out on some more questions. Never even, yep. All right, so yeah, I think, let me make sure, scroll up here. Thank you, Dave, for the wonderful comment. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all for being here. And now I want to make sure that I have covered everything. The sun, Scorpio and sun sign. I want to make sure that the one thing I think I didn't talk about the Scorpio sun signs and even moon signs, or Scorpio in general. This is a raw trait across the board for Scorpios, is that we are known for being very secretive and mysterious. Okay, I didn't cover that, but we're very seductive and magnetic and very secretive. But the good thing about the fact that we are secretive is that we will keep your secrets too. And that is another reason why people are so drawn to Scorpios. And this is happening my whole entire life. And it doesn't matter who the heck, it could be some stranger off the street that I never ever saw in my life. They will come up to me and start telling me their whole entire life story. I'm like, I don't, too much information. Okay, don't know. I don't want, this is things I do not need to know. So Scorpios, because of their magnetism and the fact that they exude this energy of being able to keep people's secrets, they're kind. Scorpios are very kind, okay, and very caring. And I don't know, it's our aura. You know, people feel safe with us just to blush. So, tell us everything that we don't want to know. So, and I've had to deal with that my whole entire life. I don't know, have any of you out there that are Scorpios, have you dealt with strangers? Anybody just coming up to you and just start prattling on about things they've done. I mean, things like you know, that you would never want to tell anybody, but they'll tell you. If any of these traits are resonating with any of you out there, let me know. Okay, I want to know if I'm on the right track here, you know, because I don't have Scorpio and sun. I have Scorpio and moon sign, but it's so dominant, so powerful that it's all about my emotions. It's all about, when you're Scorpio, and Scorpio moon sign is all about someone's emotions, their emotional life. And it's really your true inner self. It's who you really are under everything. So when people meet you at first, and if you're a Scorpio rising sign, they're going to immediately be hit with that Scorpio rising mask. Okay, that magnetic energy of the Scorpio, boom, hits you like like thunder, baby. So, okay, let me see here. I'm going to stop for a second. Right, I always feel I don't belong here. Sometimes it's hell being Scorpio. Yes, I agree with you, One Warrior. Yes, you summed it up accurately. Yeah, don't always feel. Yeah, sometimes it's hell being a Scorpio. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is literally. it feels like at times, I know personally, that I have lived in hell for a long time, not deliberately so, but when people don't understand you, and most people don't even try to understand you, and that's the worst thing to me, is that even other water signs like a Pisces or a Cancer sign, even they act oblivious. I mean, because Scorpios are really different. All the water signs have some, parallel, like some qualities that are kind of the same across the board, like the psychic abilities and that sort of thing. It seems to be across the board for Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. But Scorpio is really in a league of its own, because Cancer doesn't have 2 planets ruling it, and Pisces doesn't have 2 planets ruling it, okay? And I know that, people are like, oh, Pisces is so powerful and this and that. I'm like, I can eat Pisces all day for dinner, okay? And Cancers too. And I'm a Cancer sun, but I don't, my actions in life are not based on my Cancer traits. They're based on my Scorpio emotions. And even more so, my Leo is very, very dominant in my Mars sign, which is action. So you take the emotions and actions with Scorpio being, I have a stellium in Scorpio, and then with the Leo, I'm very intimidating. And so, but still, when you have that true dominant Scorpio energy in your natal birth chart, oh my gosh. Yeah, it is so hard for the people to understand this. And if this is you out there and you're listening to this live feed right now, I mean, chime in and let me know, am I on the right track about this, about the Scorpios, feeling like we are so alone out there, like no one understands, how lonely we can feel, because no one understands us, and they don't really even try to understand us. That's what really irks my hide. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about some of the darker traits of Scorpio, just briefly before I get to the superpowers. I don't think I touched the superpowers, but the silent revenge plots. Okay, so let me say this, and this is from personal experience, not only with myself and others, is Scorpios will not, or rarely, let me say rarely, they will rarely let you see them cry. Okay, I know personally, and I've been told I'm a very cold person, because very few people have seen me cry. My mom used to tell me I was like cold-hearted and stuff. She was not a good, anyways. So the thing is that we tend to cry alone. We don't let anyone see us become weak. Like me, I feel like crying is weak, even though it's not. It is not a weak thing to do. Actually, you need to cry. I totally believe that. But I will not let the person who's hurt me see me cry. I will pull back and I will cry by myself. And then I will arise, like transformed and regenerated. So no one will ever see Scorpios cry. I mean, it's very rare. I don't know who's seen me cry. Not very many people. Not very many people have seen me cry. Mm-mm. So if this is you, let me know, because we're known, Scorpios in general, are known to be cold, to act cold, look cold, be cold-hearted or whatever, because we will not show our emotions. We will not, we can have that poker face where you just don't know what we think about you. You don't know how we really think about you. We keep all of that hidden. We might, when we do say something, we mean it, usually, okay? Usually, if we say something like, I love you, I like you, you're beautiful, you're handsome, or whatever, we mean what we say, okay? When we do speak, we mean what we say. And there is some people out there, there's some evolved Scorpios out there that like to play games and are very manipulative and might say things just to test you, because that's another Scorpio trait that I've got to talk about but not really, because now I'm talking about now, is that Scorpio's sun and moon signs will test you. Okay? And a lot of it is subconscious. It's not even, sometimes it is deliberate and calculated, yes. But a lot of times, like for me, when I test people, especially in my younger years, it was all subconscious. I didn't even know what I was doing, and that drove me nuts. I'm like, why am I testing this person so much? You know, and so it is a natural trait for Scorpio suns and moons to test the heck out of potential partners. I don't do it so much anymore. If I do, it's very slight, and I can catch myself, you know, because I'm pretty in tune with my subconscious mind. I'm pretty much just, I live in my conscious mind now. So I'm pretty conscious of what I'm doing. Now I think I'm more, it's not really think, I know I'm more deliberate now in what I say. Like I'm very deliberate in what I do and what I say. Before I would just like, ooh, you know, it's just, like I didn't have any governors or filters in place. I just subconsciously tested the heck out. It's like we put our potential partners, I know I used to do this, and you can let me know if you've done this. I will put my potential partners, friends or family or whatever, I will put them through the ringer and test their loyalty, to test how they really feel about me. I've even prematurely broken up with people just to see how they would react. Yeah, I know that sounds horrible. I know, you guys, I'm being honest here. I used to test, this is back when I was, you know, 2 decades younger. I would do some crazy things to test people. Like I would literally put them through hell to see if they measured up to my level of loyalty and faithfulness and all that sort of thing. So I'm not happy about all that. I've apologized to these people that I did those things to, because it was all subconscious. And this is why it's so important that you all know your basic traits, Scorpio traits, especially because Scorpios can be so destructible not only to their lives and themselves, their spiritual life, but to others too, because the other people in their lives are watching them destroy themselves. And 2 Scorpios can be together, male, female, whatever, dominant Scorpios, and one can be, you know, a little more spiritually evolved or whatever. And it depends on that level of spirituality. You usually can pull the other one up, you know. But yeah, it's it can be lonely being a Scorpio, no matter if you're a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising sign, or you just have dominant placements or stellium of Scorpio in your natal birth chart. You are teeming with Scorpio energy. Okay, you are. It's imperative that you know your traits. It's a blueprint, okay? And you can totally transform and evolve and become that amazing rising phoenix, Scorpio rising phoenix. Okay, Scorpio is the only sign that can do that. They're the only sign that goes through 7 transformations, okay? And you can thank Pluto for that, because Pluto, like I said in the beginning of the video and a couple of times again, I want to reiterate this because if you're just coming in and listening to me now, I want to reiterate for those who didn't hear me in the beginning that Pluto is the planet of death, rebirth, and regeneration, transformation, okay? You've got Mars that also has its incredible influence upon, it's the traditional planet of Scorpio. And yes, it is there under the surface, boiling, okay? So yes, Scorpios have that aggressiveness and that let's destroy, let's conquer, you know? So it definitely can be challenging. So let me see what we got going on here. Yeah, one woman party, yes. Yes. And you know what? When you're a lonely Scorpio, it's not really lonely sometimes. It's more like just a aloneness. It's okay, because if you really enjoy your own company, yeah, I mean, I can have one woman parties all the time. Just if you enjoy your own company, being alone with with yourself, you know, you can sit with yourself. I make myself laugh all the time. So I enjoy my own company, and you should too. If you don't enjoy your own company, then you need to learn how to enjoy your own company. If you're not happy with yourself and who you are, you will not be happy with anyone else. And if you don't love yourself, you cannot truly love another person. You cannot truly love them. Okay? You have to like yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to embrace who you are, accept where you are in life right now, and just look at, well, I am this person right now, but this is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm headed, right here. Okay, so I might be this way today, but tomorrow, 5 years down the road, this is where I'm going to be. Scorpios, because you have all of that amazing, emotional, intense emotions, you have the ability to literally transform your life like that. Okay, you can do it. You have the power and the ability. You just have to make a choice. You can't blame anyone else for where you're at right now. Okay, you can't play that victim role. That's just, where's that going to get you? Woe is me, blah blah blah. What? Don't go down that road of victimhood. Okay, you made choices 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago that put you where you are right now, and that includes all the thoughts you have thought, all of the actions you have taken, all of that. Okay, so you have to understand that right now your reality is reflecting all of your past thoughts, whether it's a day ago thoughts, 5 years ago thoughts, whatever. You are living it out right now. You can choose to change your thoughts, your actions, your world right now, literally like a switch. Okay, you have that ability as a Scorpio. You have that advantage being so emotionally powerful, okay, above all of the other zodiac signs. And I don't care, if you're listening here and you're a Taurus sign or whatever, Scorpios are hands down the most powerful sign, period. We are natural sorcerers. We can create whatever we want if we choose to. Okay, you have to choose that. You cannot blame your lot in life on anyone else right now. You cannot, because wow, you're 30 years old, 20 years old, 40 years old, whatever age you might be. What were you thinking 5 years ago? What were you doing 5 years ago? That's playing out right now. Okay, what you were thinking 2 days ago is going to be playing out now or in the future. Okay, so you have to be mindful of what you are thinking about, because it's going to play out. What are you looking at? Is it clean? Is it, are you looking at porn all the time? Are you cheating? Are you cheating on your girlfriend? Are you cheating on your boyfriend? Are you indulging in alcohol and drugs? And what are you doing? Because those actions, whatever you're thinking, that all is playing out right now. Okay, so you just have to really examine yourself and learn to be conscious of your thoughts that are going on in your mind. Because Scorpios, you literally have the power, more than any other sign out there, to transform your life right now, okay? And make it what you want. Create your life the way you want it. What do you want? Ask yourself, what do you want? Okay? You have to move your body and your words and your thoughts in that direction. Your words are an action. Your thoughts are an action. What are you thinking about? Who are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? What are you looking at? Is it pure? Is it good? What are you doing in your spare time? Okay, are you sitting around drinking, smoking, snorting cocaine? I don't know what it is. People do a lot of destructive things. What are you doing? Because all those things play a very important role in your spiritual life. And for Scorpios, because you have that natural tendency to self-destruct, this is why I felt like it was so imperative for me to have this weekly roast. Now, especially for Scorpio, I chose Scorpio to be my #1 episode because Scorpios have the hardest time. And we're really the most misunderstood sign of the whole entire zodiac. Either people hate Scorpios or they love Scorpios. And if you're the unevolved Scorpios, you give the Scorpio name a bad rap, okay? Because yes, unevolved Scorpios are sex fiends, and they're, yeah, they can be out of control, very promiscuous and that sort of thing. And they can cheat and lie and do all the things that, well, that, So I'm not saying I did those things. I just know that an unevolved Scorpio, male or female, at any age, yeah. So when you're evolved, you care more about where you put your sexual energies and where you put your time. The older you get, you realize a lot, you don't take things for granted. You won't take your energies for granted. You won't take your emotional energies for granted. You won't take people for granted. And you will be very deliberate about where you put your time and your energies. And hopefully, yeah, you'll just keep evolving. So let me go ahead and make sure that I've covered everything, because I did talk about like the secrecy, the mysterious vibe. Yeah, so people like, when they see Scorpios, we do give off that mysterious vibe. I don't talk about, and no matter, and you let me know if this is you, okay? Let me know if I'm hitting the nail on the head on this with Scorpios, because I know personally, like if I'm working around people or whatever, they don't know anything about me other than just my name. They might eventually know more than my name. Usually they don't even know my name, okay? I don't talk about my personal life at work or anywhere. Like I'm just there, and I don't say a whole lot unless I want it's deliberate, okay? And if there might be one person that I might end up telling, yeah, I have a couple kids or whatever. Most people will not know more than my name, okay? Even if I've worked around them for like 5 years or whatever. Some people, yes, they earned their trust. They earned their way into my personal world. And that's like 1 or 2 people, okay? So everyone else, no. Scorpios reserve our energy, and that includes our words. And like talking on the phone, I don't like to talk on the phone. My family doesn't understand that when we're talking, we're expending valuable, precious energies. And sometimes our family is negative. They're like energy vampires. And this might resonate with a lot of you out there, especially if you're Scorpio. You'll have family members that are playing the victim role all the time. They're negative, and then they invite negative people into their world. And then all they want to do is talk about all the TV shows, the crappy TV shows, and I know nothing about, because I don't watch TV. I can give a rat's dilly poo-poo about TV shows, okay? So then I have to listen to my mom or my dad or talking about this or that, CSI or whatever is out there. And I just get bored to tears. And then, so talking on the phone, usually for most Scorpios, is not something we enjoy. It's deliberate. If we can talk to you on the phone for more than 30 minutes, wow, okay? So, and if it's for hours, then like, that's a miracle, okay? Because that just doesn't happen for Scorpios. I'm sorry, there's a motorcycle making noise. I hope you guys don't hear that. There's some young kid on their motorcycle, and it's like, okay, anyways. So like I said, I wanted to get very deep and be very deliberate about this rose. So I wanted to cover the good, the bad, the ugly about Scorpio in general in all these signs. And like I said, Scorpio is a fixed sign. So, it's very challenging. You have to be very deliberate about your transformations. Okay. You have to be very devoted. If you want to transform, you have to devote yourself to that. You have to stay focused. Scorpios, I know, like when we're in love, I know for me, I get tunnel vision. Okay. And that's another thing that most people go, oh my gosh, they're obsessed. Oh my gosh. But no, we literally, because we want that soul, spiritual connection with that loved one or that person, we can have tunnel vision for that one person. Okay. I know I'm like that. And that's a Scorpio moon trait. We would just laser in on that one person. Normally there's Some Scorpios, if you're unevolved, will have a couple other people on the side, okay? And they'll keep it a secret. But from another Scorpio person, I already know. So anyways, if you're two Scorpio people together, you can't bullshit each other. And I play dumb a lot, even with other Scorpios. And I can see right through them. I already know what they're doing. I already know, and it's like, really? That's the superpowers. The superpower traits, these are the awesome traits of Scorpio, is the fact that we have psychic abilities, okay? We can laser focus right into you. We are natural lie detectors. You cannot keep your shit from us, okay? You can lie all you want. That makes you feel good about yourself. But we already know what you're doing, okay? And me, because I'm so evolved and I'm always in a state of knowing, I literally have downloads and day visions and downloads all the time about people. I'm tuned into their thoughts. I'm tuned into what they're watching. I'm tuned in what they're doing. And they don't understand that. And so, sometimes I go along with the game because I just like to see how far they take it, how they take their lives. To me, it's more, I guess, entertainment. Because I already know what they're doing. I already know the outcome. So anyways, that goes with family members, friends. It doesn't matter. Even some stranger off the road, I can laser focus right into them. I can see their heart. I know the condition of their heart. I know if someone's lying to me. I mean, I can read their whole entire blueprint basically when I meet somebody. I can even foresee people's futures. And I've never been wrong. So this is the thing with Scorpio dominant placements, especially moon signs, and even Scorpio rising and all that. We have the strong psychic intuition or abilities. I like to call it for myself. I have the precog ability. I'm clairvoyant, and I have all of the abilities. And it sucks sometimes knowing that someone that I care about is boldly lying to me, and they think that I don't know. And that's just like, really? Do I look that dumb? But anyway, so it's kind of disrespectful. Well, it is disrespectful, but anyways. So Scorpio's loyalty. This is one thing I wanted to cover about the Scorpio loyalty. You do not want to go look up the dictionary textbook definition of Scorpio's loyalty, because it will not match the definition of loyalty for Scorpio. And this is what I mean. Scorpios don't vibe with or share energy with, we don't, our loved ones, let me put it this way, our loved ones, our friends that we have grown to trust, they earned their trust in our life, friends or family or loved ones or whatever. If they vibe with and share their energy with and laugh with our enemies, they're being disloyal. Okay, that is the Scorpio's definition of someone who's being disloyal to us. Okay, so say for instance, my sister. Okay, I trust my sister, and she knows that I have an enemy at, let's say, at the gym or whatever. But me and my sister both go to the gym. Okay, and there's somebody at the gym that has done me wrong. My sister knows that this person has done me wrong, but yet my sister is somebody that I trust, goes over and starts laughing and talking and sitting down with my enemy. That to me is betrayal. That's being disloyal. Okay, so then, okay, no more trusting that person ever again. Okay, so maybe we will get once in a while, Scorpios will give a second chance, but not normally. I know I don't. So yeah, it's if it's somebody that is supposed to be loyal to us, we expect you to be loyal to us. If you have earned a sacred privileged place in our world, our little tiny little sacred worlds, and you go and sit and dine and laugh with our enemies, and I don't even think I have any enemies. as far as like real enemies, no. Like there's been people that have been jealous of me and that sort of thing. But as far as real enemies, yeah, I don't think I have any, or I don't think I've ever really had enemies per se. There's just been people that rubbed me the wrong way, you know. Usually it was a spouse. But anyways, but for most Scorpios, okay, that are very social more than me, because I'm not a social butterfly. I can socialize and I'm very good with people and I have great communication skills. However, I'm very selective of who I allow into my world. So I'm not a partier. I don't go to bars. I don't do any of that sort of thing. And if you do those sorts of things, okay, that's your thing. It's not my thing. It never will be my thing. Never has been my thing. So people, like some Scorpios do like to go to bars, and that I don't even like this. The scene is just, it's not good for your spirit or soul. But anyway, some people like to do the bar thing. They meet people or whatever, and they might even make an enemy or two at the bar, okay? Because maybe they're getting drunk at the bar, and now they're making enemies or whatever. But if you go into the bar with your brother, someone that you're supposed to trust, you both go into the bar now, and your brother goes over and walks over and talks to your enemy. The Scorpio is just like, no, you know, no, that's betrayal right there. Is that, you know, so yes, loyalty is a huge thing for Scorpio. So yeah, you don't betray us, you don't lie, and you don't cheat. Okay, you be honest and open. We can handle the truth as long as you are open and honest with us. If you start hiding things and being secretive about this girl over here in another state and this girl over here that you're going, we're already going to know that you're doing it first and foremost. And then you're digging your own grave by lying about it to another Scorpio, because that karma thing always gets you. So yeah, it's really not in your best interest to lie, betray, or do a Scorpio wrong. It really is not in your best interest. So tread lightly if you're dealing with a Scorpio, okay? If you're in love with a Scorpio, or you are a Scorpio, well, if you're in love with a Scorpio, because I don't know if, like, I have some other signs here watching, but if you are a different sign and you're in love with a Scorpio, you really need to know all these things about Scorpios, okay? The loyalty is a huge thing. And if you're into public displays of affection, and that means like making out in public, okay, and sucking each other's faces, like, you know, we're not into all that, okay? That is for those sacred acts are for behind the scenes in closed doors and a very private place behind closed doors, okay? That's where it's meant to be. So don't expect public displays of, you know, like, we'll hold hands, no problem, with no holding hands, being close, you know, being really close, but there's not going to be any making out unless we're in a very private place, okay? We do things in private. We do things behind the scenes. And like when a Scorpio gets angry, when they do get angry, their anger is done in the shadows, okay? So like an Aries, they also share the same planet, Mars, you know, aggression and war, conquer. Scorpios also have that, but the difference between the Aries and the Scorpio is that the Scorpio's anger, well, we do things in the dark. We do things in the shadows. And if we don't lift a finger, then karma just takes care of it for us, okay? The dark realms and all their demons will take care of business for us, okay? Well, we don't have to lift a finger. So just know that when you come against a Scorpio, you're coming against the energies of death from Pluto. You're coming against those sorts of energies. Okay, so you need to tread lightly with the Scorpio. They do like to sting a lot, okay? They're known to, unevolved Scorpios especially will use their stingers a little too much. They will test you, and if you betray them or hurt them in any sort of way, you know, you have to, emotionally, especially if you hurt a Scorpio emotionally, that stinger is coming out. I'm sorry, baby. Even the more evolved Scorpios, you know, they won't need to do anything physically, but that the karmic stinger is going to get you, okay? It's going to get you. You cannot get away with hurting a Scorpio, especially if they are a pure-hearted Scorpio. Holy moly, then you are in trouble. You are in trouble. Okay, so do good and do right to your Scorpios. I'm not telling you to fear them, but just know that karma is on their side from the depths of the dark realms. Okay, so people don't understand that, and that is from the Hebrew Kabbalah. Okay, this is what I talk about is, you know, years of studying the Hebrew Kabbalah, which is ancient astrology. So let's see now. I want to make sure I have covered everything as far as like the raw traits. And Scorpio moon. Scorpio moon is going to have the hardest time evolving, and they're going to be the most intense. If you're a Scorpio moon, definitely you will have the most challenges because of the debilitation. And I did explain that. I just did 2 videos about Scorpio and debilitation. So if you want to check those videos out, you can go into my playlist. I encourage you all to do that. I did a Scorpio moon in the tropical and Western astrology. Well, actually it's Hebrew, Kabbalah, or Kabbalah. I know I say things differently than everyone else. So, okay, whatever. Anyways, you'll have to forgive me, guys. I have my own unique way of speaking and pronouncing things. Okay, it's called Julie's. So you can check out my video, Scorpio Moon in Vedic astrology also. Okay. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to, one moment, pardon me. I know this is off script, but I have to. I drink a lot of water, folks. I go through one of these. This is huge. I'm not sure if this is like 24 ounces of water every night. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm drinking the heck out of water. I drink a lot of water. Maybe that's why I look so youthful. I think that is. Besides being a personal trainer and bodybuilder, and I'm a health freak, you guys. I'm a health freak, okay? Take care of myself. You should too. And I do not drink alcohol. Except for maybe once in a great while, you know, a little glass of wine here or there, okay, maybe. You know, from time to time, some Italian wine is nice, but that is just not my cup of tea. I don't do drugs. I don't. Anyway, so I know it's kind of unusual because usually Scorpios have some sort of hangups, but I don't. I can act a little more addictive when I love somebody. If I really have a true love for somebody, then I kind of get addicted to the love because now my soul is bonded to them. Well, at least for me. So I feel like I'm addicted to that feeling of being one, soul, somebody, which hopefully some of you can understand. Maybe you don't, I don't know. Excuse me. If you are a Scorpio person, have you been with another Scorpio? And do you know how it feels to be with somebody who has dominant Scorpio vibes and energy and placements? If you experience that, I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your stories. Like, it's nice to hear that 2 Scorpios, dominant Scorpio energy can literally mesh, okay, and they can understand each other. I would think that would be the most, especially if they're both trying to evolve or they're both going in the right direction, the same direction and everything. If any of you are out there that you're a Scorpio and you're in a relationship with another Scorpio, I would love to know, is that working out for you? I have heard a lot of great stories about 2 Scorpios being together. Actually, my grandma and grandpa were both Scorpios, and they stayed together until my grandma passed away. And it was like, and even when I was around, I was the only other Scorpio in the family with the dominant Scorpio placements, that like when my grandma, my grandpa, and we were all 3 in the same room, we could literally like just read each other's minds. We could just look at each other and it's like we knew what the other one was thinking. It was crazy. But like between my grandma and grandpa, they were both Scorpios. It's crazy. I think they were like 3 days apart. They both were November Scorpios, which I'm going to cover. That reminds me, I need to cover the deacons. I said I was going to cover the deacons. It's something that I have not covered. So I want to do that now because I think I've covered most of all of the traits, superpowers, dark traits, that sort of thing. And the deacons, So, okay, this is your degrees, or actually, no, as far as like the sun sign Scorpios. Okay, so if you're a first deacon Scorpio, okay, like you were born between, what is it, October 23rd and November 1st. I'm trying to remember. You are first deacon Scorpio. That means you're a Scorpio. You are the purest, intense, true Scorpio. Okay. Now, if you're born between like November 2nd and November 11th, you are a second deacon Scorpio. That means you're going to have the Scorpio and Pisces influence of Neptune. Okay. So you'll have a little bit of the Piscean traits. That means you'll be a little dreamy and, because Pisces are just they literally escape into fantasies all the time. There's this, yeah. Okay. So, but they also have psychic abilities too. And in the second deacon, with the Pisces influence of the Neptune rules Pisces. So you are going to have the influence of some creativity also. Now, if you're a third deacon Scorpio, that means you were born November 12th through, was it November 22nd? Yeah, November 12th through the 22nd, I believe it is. You're a third deacon Scorpio, and that means you are a Scorpio Cancer. You will have the influence of the moon, okay, because the moon rules Cancer. And you will have some of the Cancer traits, which will help soften, actually, which is good, actually, for a Scorpio. Some of the Cancer traits help soften some of the intensity of a Scorpio. Okay, Scorpios are intense naturally. So you have the added influence of being more nurturing than normal. You will be like more of a caregiver. You'll feel like you want to take care of people. You'll definitely have psychic abilities of Cancer, because Cancers are naturally very psychic, very, very psychic. Okay, they have the natural psychic abilities. And so anyways, it just kind of, you'll get the influence of the moon. Okay, if you're the third deacon Scorpio. Now, if you want to talk about the deacons and like, your moon sign and your planet signs, then you're going to be like, we're talking about degrees now, but it's the same principle. Like your first deacon in your Scorpio moon sign is going to be 0 degrees to 9 degrees. And this is for any of you that have actually like gone onto a website and had your natal birth chart done, and you can see the degrees of your placements, like in your moon sign and your rising sign, your first house sign or whatever, and then your Mars, Mercury, Venus, on and on and on. Okay, and you can see the degrees in your natal birth chart blueprint. Basically, is what I like to call the blueprint, okay, of your life. And yes, you can change it and alter any parts of your blueprints. Okay, so don't think that it's written in stone, because it's not written in stone. So like the 0 to 9 degrees, you're Scorpio, and that's for your moon sign. Okay, Scorpio moon sign. If you're in the 10 to 19 degrees, then you're going to be the Scorpio Pisces. And if you're 20, like the 20 degrees to the 29th degree, then you're going to be the Scorpio Cancer. And that's for the Scorpio moon signs. And you can do that for each of your planet placements, okay? It's basically like every 9 degrees, then it changes a deacon. And that just means that you have the influence of that sign's planet, okay? Like I said, the moon rules Cancer, so you're going to get the added traits of Cancer if you're in that last deacon. So anyways, I hope that I thoroughly explained that, and I'm going to wrap it up now because I have been on here for so long. Oh my goodness, an hour and 30 minutes. Holy moly. Okay, so before I do wrap it up, I want to just pause and say thank you so much. I apologize for my absence again. I'm in the process of moving. It is very stressful. I have so much going on, and but I want to make sure that I don't completely disappear. I don't want to neglect my amazing dragon family because I love you all so much. I appreciate you all being here, subscribing, listening, watching, and especially if you are participating in the comment section and asking me questions or telling me stories or whatever. I love it. I love hearing from you all. I love the feedback. And don't forget to hit the like button if you've enjoyed this, because the likes really help me. I'm really trying to get that last 1,200 hours to get monetized. And then once I get monetized, I will be able to bring you guys so much more material, so much more often. Okay. I will be on here all the time for you guys. Okay. And I'm just asking, like, if you know anybody who's into astrology or manifesting or just leveling up your life and you want to learn some new life-changing tools. I've got videos that of course cover astrology and all the signs. I have videos that cover how to manifest your best life. I have self-improvement videos as well, because I have been researching these areas for at least 30 decades or more, okay, since my early 20s, maybe even in my teens. But anyways, for a long time, okay? And I am just like so thrilled that I can bring all of this material to any and all of you that are willing to listen, that are ready to listen to, anyways, please be patient with me. And if you know any friends or family that would love to listen to their traits about their zodiac sign, please send them my way. I would really appreciate that. Share my videos. I'm here to serve you guys, and to teach you guys whatever it is you need. So next week I'm going to do a different zodiac sign. I have chosen 4 different ones. I'm going to let you guys vote. Let my subscribers vote on that. So it will be like I've chosen like Libra, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. So I'll let you guys vote on that, and then we'll see who I'm going to roast, what zodiac sign I'm going to roast next week. I'm going to make this a weekly thing, okay? Each sign is going to be roasted, okay? But it's going to just be done once a week. I'm going to try to also put out at least one additional video. This is just temporary, mind you. Once I get settled into another place or get settled somewhere, whether it's in my car or whatever, my mountain, then I will start pumping out 3 or 4, maybe even 5 videos a week like I was doing, and which I love doing. And so if you just have some patience with me and don't go anywhere, I appreciate your support. All of you are so important to the overall growth of my channel and the overall success. It is you that makes my channel successful, okay? It is you that take the time of your precious days to watch my videos and content. And I thank you all for that. And now I want to just open up the comment section now for any questions. If you have any questions, I'm going to concentrate on you. I'll give you like 5 minutes, and then within 5 minutes, I will take your questions, and then I'm just going to wrap it up and close it, because I didn't realize I was on here for so long. Like, oh my gosh, I prattled on. Oh, whoa. Okay. So if there's something that you think that I should have covered as far as like traits in regards to the sun, moon, or Scorpio rising, and you have questions about any of those, just don't be shy, okay? Let me know. The deacons was something that I don't think I ever covered in any of my videos. I will eventually be covering the houses and the conjunctions and all of that stuff, okay? But I'm just trying to focus more on teaching people and revealing to people the traits of their zodiac sign. It really helps people realize, why they do the things they do, why they act the way that they act, if they know these traits about themselves. Okay, it really does make a huge difference. It really, really, really does. Okay, And so I'm going to check the comment section, see if anyone has any questions. And if not, I'm going to wrap it up and say goodbye, not hello. I'm going to say hello and then goodbye. All right. So anyways, great show. Yay. Okay. Any book change your way of thinking for good? Oh, okay. That's a good question. I'm sorry. I should have got to that earlier. Any book change the way you're thinking for good? Okay. So yeah. There is a book that actually helped me on my manifestation and spiritual journey. And that was The Chronicles of Neville Goddard. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that author, but reading his material really helped connect a lot of dots. I was already on the road of self-discovery, self-awareness, consciousness, and on the road of just truth, okay? And of course, I was just in the very beginning stages of learning all about the manifestation and all of that. So when I read Neville Goddard's Chronicles, it was the first book, Chronicles 1, I think it was. And I would say within 6 months after reading that book, I leveled up exponentially. Like within 6 months, I was like already surpassing his wisdom and knowledge and experiences. Now, I know there's a lot of his material is bang on, and you have to understand that what methods and things work for some people may not be the strength and methods of another. So, for instance, there's one thing about Neville Goddard that he stresses a lot in his books is that feel it real, use your imagination and all that. Now, if you are a very imaginative person, okay, that is something so natural for you where you can literally get into that world of imagination and you can feel it real and you can feel everything as if it's already there and done and you're actually there, then go with that, okay? If that works for you. Now, for me, the thing that works always for me is I speak everything into existence. And because I have such a knowing and a belief that whatever I speak out loud comes to fruition, it always does come to fruition, and usually instantly. Not in every single case, but in a lot of instances, I know for a fact that I can speak something once. Like, for instance, let me give you an example. This has actually happened to me not so long ago. I was sitting at my desk and I saw a commercial for somebody on a walking pad. And I looked at it. I was like, you know what? I want that walking pad and I'm going to have it. Now, kid you not, this is a true story. After saying those words out loud, I went out to my garage. I was taking something out to the trash, which is right there by my garage, and I noticed this huge box sitting, leaning up against my garage, and I'm just like, what the heck is that? Because I didn't order anything, you guys. I didn't order anything. I hadn't ordered anything. Nothing. Okay. So I'm like, what in the world? It's not my birthday. It's not Christmas. I didn't order anything. What, I was very, okay. The first thing that actually came to my mind after that was, oh, they misdelivered this box again. It probably belongs to Lamar above me. Because they do that a lot. UPS will deliver a box that belongs to my neighbor. Okay. And I've had to take huge boxes up to his porch. They didn't belong to me. So I'm like, oh gosh, so when I looked at it, looked at the name it was addressed to me. So I'm like, okay, I know for a fact I didn't order anything. Okay. I didn't order anything, nothing off of online. So when I opened it up, it was a walking pad. Okay. So you guys, you can take that for what it is, but I was shocked. I was like, I just spoke that into existence, literally. I know I didn't have to pay for it. It was free. Okay. There was no scam involved, mind you. It wasn't a mistake. It literally showed up, boom, 45 minutes later after I said, I want one of those walking pads and I will have it. And bam, I still have it. I still have that walking pad. I bought a better one. So now I got 2 walking pads. So anyways, you can speak things into existence. Okay. I do it all the time. that is what I know works for me. Now, other people like I am, you know, you might, your gift might be the gift of visualization and imagination. So now for others, it might be scripting. That might be your strength. Your wand, your magic wand might be scripting and journaling and everything. So you go with what you feel and believe works best for you. Enjoy the whole discussion. Yay! Thank you, One Warrior. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You're awesome. All of you are awesome. One Warrior, I am, Dave Cavity, and anyone else. I've seen people come and go, and whoever is out there watching right now, thank you. You guys are awesome. And I appreciate all of the support and your involvement and questions and feedback, of course. I love the feedback. I like to know that I am providing valuable information to you that might actually benefit you. You know, that is the most important thing for me. I mean, you can even give me negative feedback and say, no, you're not benefiting me. I mean, I already know all this stuff. Like, tell me something new, you know, whatever. I'm just kidding. No, you can go somewhere else. Anyways, and I do like the feedback. So stay tuned for next week. I'm not sure who the sign is going to be, but they're going to be roasted. Thank you all for being here. And I am signing off because I do not see any. Oh, wait, hold on. It's a Scorpio in you. How can I book you for an in-depth reading of my chart? Oh, okay. I'm so glad I looked at this again. Yeah, so you can go to my description box, and my email address is there, and you can contact me. It's what is it? Goddess Julianne at AOL. I think it's Goddess. Oh, no, I think it's Cosmic. I don't even know my own email address. Oh my goodness, this is just Cosmic Goddess Julianne at AOL.com or something like that. That's the email that you can contact me with, and you can give me your birth date and the time you were born and the city you were born in, and I will be more than happy to do an in-depth natal birth chart for you. And it will be most beneficial for you to see your entire story, okay? Because you're not just your sun sign. People think, you know, like, I'm Scorpio sun, okay, and that's all I am. And no, you're not, okay? So there's a lot more to you than your sun sign, okay? Your sun sign is just your basic aura, how you deal with life, okay? It's your personality, that sort of thing. But it's your inner self is your moon sign, you know, your true emotions and how you act. If your moon is very dominant, okay, then yeah, your moon sign is your inner world, your emotions. And I know that, like, everything I do in life is based on my inner emotional life, which is Scorpio, okay? And it's very dominant, very, very, very dominant. I just, yeah, it's good. And yet I've always felt like I was cursed, but yeah. So back to you, I am. I just went off on a tangent. So yeah, please contact me via my email, and I will be more than happy to help you with the natal birth chart. Let's dig deep and find out what you are, who you are, and you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, and Sag. Okay, great. I will look forward to you reaching out to me. Yay. Okay. And you're a Sag. Yeah, you're a Sag, aren't you? One of these days I will do a video about the signs that Scorpio butts heads with. The signs that we don't necessarily like, okay? And if you're a dominant Sag, you're one of them that, okay, so anyways, and Geminis, sorry, I love all the signs, but there is certain signs that Scorpios do not mesh with, okay? It's the raw truth, okay? not going to beat around no bushes. There's certain signs, you know, that just, you can learn to get along. Okay, especially if you both are evolving, you know, you can definitely learn to get along for sure. Okay, yeah. As evolved as I am, it is still really, really challenging to deal with a dominant Sagittarius, especially if they're female. Especially if they're female. Oh my word. Okay, so let's see, I just went off on a tangent talking about things I shouldn't be talking about. So thank you all for being here, and I love you all. I am going to check one more time for questions before I cut off. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, Dave, you're weird. Okay. Just weird there. I don't understand that one. Okay, so looking, I'm never left a finger. Yeah. That one is hard for you. Cutting. Okay, so I didn't even see that one. I am the one is hard for you, which is cutting ties. Yeah. That can be probably the hardest thing. I have to agree with you, especially when I was less evolved and less conscious and less had less self-awareness and all of that sort of stuff. Oh my gosh, it was really hard. Okay, because there was a particular person in my life that was the love of my life, and oh my God, walking away from him was the hardest thing I ever did. Cutting ties with somebody that you truly, 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 truly love, like really love, can be very, very hard. But you have to get back to your spiritual life. You have to go back to you. You have to find your way back to you. You know, what is your truth? Who are you? Because we can lose ourselves so easily into somebody because of that soul merging with that person that we love so much. We lose ourselves. Okay. And it is so difficult, especially with the loyalty thing. That one's was really hard for me back then. Was, you know, I'm loyal to this person, I'm loyal, blah, 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 blah. But when I got alone with myself and really examined myself and really said, Julie, what is it you really need? What is it you really want? And it was always my spiritual life, always won. Okay, so no matter how much I love that person, okay, I always knew I had to love myself more. I had to love, I was always desiring, and I had a passion to spiritually evolve as a person. So that actually trumped even the love that I had for the love of my life. Okay, I always ended up choosing my spiritual life, my spiritual growth. And believe me, that was the hardest thing to do, because from, you know, like you said, you know, cutting ties with somebody, you know, especially if you have merged your body with them, if you've had that intimacy with them and everything. Yeah. It can be the hardest thing to do, but also the most necessary and the most rewarding thing to do at the same time. I know that might be really hard for you to understand if you haven't actually cut ties with somebody who's bogging you down and keeping you from growing and keeping you from your present desires, you know. And your spiritual growth should always become number one. It should always take precedence over anything else in your life. And I know I've had to keep family members and certain people. I've had to cut people out of my life along the way, and other people just fall away on their own, because when you level up, people just fall away. They don't understand you. The more you level up, the less people there is out there that will understand you and everything. But if you choose yourself and your spiritual life, it has to be your spiritual life. Choose you, okay? You know, look at that person that you're with. Where are they? They could be from a different spiritual family. They are, you know, they could be even a completely different species than you. They could be a completely different makeup. Everything about them could be completely different than you. Are they spiritually stagnant? Are they spiritually growing? If they're not, they are not benefiting your life anymore. Okay, they're not adding value to your life, and they're not spiritually uplifting you. You need to be either alone and spiritually uplift yourself, or be in the presence of someone else that is a little more evolved, or more evolved than you, that can lift you up. Okay, because like what's his name, the millionaire, was it Dale Carnegie or whatever? Dale Carnegie, Think and Grow Rich. He says you need to, if you want to become a millionaire, you hang out with millionaires. You learn and study their ways. Okay. If you want to be poor, well, then hang out with the poor people, hang out with the homeless people, study their ways. Okay. Whatever it is that you're desiring in your life, that's the kind of people you need to be listening to and hanging out with. Okay. If you want to be a spiritual guru and level up your life, then you need to be around spiritual gurus that are going in that direction. You see what I'm getting at here? You need to surround yourself with the people that are going in the same direction, that have already obtained what you want, or are obtaining what you want. Okay, they have already had the experiences. They know what they're talking about. If you want to be a millionaire, you go and hang out with millionaires. You sit down with them, you study their ways, read their books, do whatever it is you have to do. Okay, you learn and study the millionaire's way. You don't go and hang out with the homeless to learn how to be a millionaire. Do you? Do you go hang out with the homeless if you want to be a millionaire? No, you don't. Okay, that's common sense. So if you don't want to be an alcoholic anymore, then you go hang out with sober-minded people. If you don't want to be doing this anymore, then you want to stop doing these things, then you go hang out with people that don't do those things. You learn and study their ways. Okay, and if you can't actually be in the presence of that person, then you read their books if they have a book out. Okay, read their books, get your hands on that material. Okay, so if you want to learn how to be a wonderful co-creator or manifestor or whatever, then you go and buy Neville Goddard's books, okay, or listen to whatever on YouTube, okay, or whatever. Yeah. No, I'm more into books. I love to physically hold a book and read it, so I buy books. Love books. I'm old-fashioned, you guys. So that's my little tidbit of wisdom, and I've gone over 2 hours, and I can't believe I did that. Anyways. All right, I love you all, and I'm going to check one more time. I keep saying that. Okay, all right. Cool. All right, so I am out. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and thank you all for being here, and I am out of here.